massive protests erupting in the streets of Paris.
President Biden is making a long-awaited trip to our neighbor up north.
And looking at ABC News, 75 years in the making.
So, for all of us at CBS News all around the world, goodbye and good luck.
Hey guys, before we begin, I want to say something real quick. I know this is outside my normal content when it comes to my normal viewers on my YouTube channel. However, this is more of a college assignment, but I also think that's a really cool topic to cover and for people to at least know. So this is going to be public. It's just very interesting what's being covered in this video. So with that being said, I'm going to go back into the actual video. CBS and ABC News are some of the most popular broadcasting systems in the United States today. One of the biggest reasons for their massive success is because of these two gentlemen, William Golden and Paul Rand, and not to be confused with Rand Paul. Their design sparked a new style and era for corporate logos that still stand firm today, even after their expansion into the entertainment genre. We will dive into how Golden and Rand reshaped the branding of these two companies, not only their approaches to the design, but how they pushed the frontier of corporate business logo designs to what we know today. The most significant difference at the beginning of these designers' lives was that Paul Rand started his design interest by painting signs for his family's grocery store. He studied advertising design, absorbing modernist influences from the Bauhaus visionary Laszlo Moholy-Nagy, who he later earned praise after his inventive magazine layouts and daring covers for the anti-fascist magazine Direction. Moholy-Nagy hailed him as an idealist and a realist, using the language of the poet and a businessman. He was credited with bringing the aesthetic and the grid system used in Swiss design to the United States in the post-war. While Paul Rand was teaching at Yale, he applied his avant-garde principle to the growing roster of major American companies. Unlike Paul Rand, Golden was free to attend and graduate from the vocational school for boys, studying photo engraving and design, and he later returned to New York to begin his apprenticeship under Dr. M.F. Agat, who said he forced the people who worked for him to try constantly to surpass themselves. After his apprenticeship, Golden began his career at CBS and was promoted to art director after 3 years. He shortly left to work for the U.S. Government Office at War Information, served in Europe as an art director of Army training manuals, and was discharged from the military in 1946. He returned to CBS when television was becoming the dominant form of media. CBS and ABC both had different histories of logo designs before settling on what they have now. CBS started around 1927 and went through various logos over 20 years. One of their first logos was a symbol of a classic microphone to signify the radio broadcasting era. Later iterations were vastly different from the previous versions. Near in 1941, the CBS logo resulted in a simple black word mark on a white background, similar to how ABC began in 1945. CBS wanted to distinguish itself visually from all their broadcasting systems, and especially with the rise of television, CBS saw the importance of having a clear and distinctive brand identity that viewers could easily recognize and remember. This led to the commissioning of William Golden to design a new logo that reflected the network's values and missions. Golden believed that a successful logo should be timeless, simple, and versatile. And to be more exact, Golden believed that a successful design should be timeless and enduring. He believed that design should be able to stand the test of time and remain relevant and effective for years to come. Golden also believed in the power of simplicity in design. He believed that a design should be stripped down to its most essential elements and that any extraneous details should be eliminated. He believed that simplicity was the key to creating a design that was easy to remember and recognizable. He also thought that design should be versatile and adaptable to a variety of contexts and applications, and that a good design should be able to work across different mediums and formats and be easily reproduced. He saw design as a means to connect with the audience and to build brand recognition and loyalty. When he was deciding what he wanted to do with the CBS logo, Golden looked to the all-seeing eye hex symbols painted on the Shaker barns of Pennsylvania Dutch County. They were pretty much these barns that had this symbol painted on their walls, and they were alleged to have these magical properties. Some believe that the signs provided protection, fertility to the livestock, and success to the crops and farms. The means of these hex symbols, I believe, steered him to what directly influenced him, which was the eye device from the 1850s Shaker art in Portfolio magazine, which, in all honesty, looks very reminiscent of the final version of the CBS logo. Golden created the all-seen eye symbol to represent the dominance of television over radio, especially since his logo came when broadcasting companies were making the switch. His idea was to have it work in motion, almost as a camera iris that opened and shut and would reveal the phrase CBS Television Network. He took 2 other sketches plus the eye drawing that was drawn up by Kurt Weiss, another graphic artist, to CBS management. None of them were received with much enthusiasm, however Stan did like the eye device concept. Thus the symbol was simplified as a static device soon after, and turned into what the CBS logo is today. There's a couple things I think that really make this logo stand out. Not only the balance of the spherical symmetry of it, but the emphasis on the center black shape to create an iris for the eye. The negative space that's left between the center spherical shape and the shape that warps around to make the eyelids gives almost this eerie and fearful yet commanding statement to the viewer. Especially as a news broadcasting source, it portrays a message of "we are always watching." The CBS logo is a prime example of Golden's philosophy in action, as it has remained virtually unchanged since its inception in 1951. He believed that a logo should be designed in a way that it can be easily replicated across various mediums and that it should reflect the core values of the organization or brand it represents. And the CBS logo is simple yet bold and easily recognizable, which aligns with his thinking and what CBS wanted from him. In contrast to Golden's approach, Paul Rand believed that a logo should be unique and memorable, while also being aesthetically pleasing. And not saying that CBS isn't those things, but Rand and ABC's approach was very different. Paul was known for his more minimalistic approach to design, a bold use of colors and innovative typography. He believed that successful design should be simple, clear, and functional, with an emphasis on visual impact and communication. He believed that simplicity was a key to creating a design that was easy to understand and remember. While CBS was looking for a clear and distinctive branding that was different than their previous iterations, ABC needed to be memorable and embody the network's creative programming. With that came a design of simplicity. An interview with Mix B and Paul Rand reveals this sort of idea of simplicity and memorability.
Right, the only one.
Now, so there's something so disarming about simplicity because people tend to think, well, in the back of their mind, I could have done that, or my kid could have done that, or you always hear this kind of stuff, and yet simplicity doesn't come that easily.
Well, it's possible for a kid to do this. I mean, it's very simple to draw. You get a compass and do it.
Well, after the fact,
After
sure.
the fact.
Previous ABC logos lacked this idea of simplicity and memorability that CBS was able to achieve with its eye mark, and that ABC hoped to achieve with its own logo. ABC's logo was so intricate and detailed in designs from 1952 and 1956, slowly began its evolution towards Paul's rendition.
But a funny story about the logo that preceded this was referred to as the toilet seat, because that's what it looked like.
But Paul Rand wanted to keep some aspects of the old and adopted them into his version. He wanted to give that nostalgic look that ABC had begun to establish for themselves. Paul does talk a little bit about companies making a certain identity and a symbol for themselves. He says, symbols are a duality. They take on meanings from causes, good and bad. They give meaning to causes, good and bad. The flag is a symbol of a country. The cross is a symbol of religion. The swastika was a symbol of good luck until its meaning was changed. The trademark is a symbol of corporation. It is not a sign of quality, it is a sign of the quality. A trademark is created by a designer but made by the corporation, which I think is really interesting. Paul did design his own logo, but in essence, it was made by the corporation by what they had established. However, this greatly contrasts with CBS, as their designs were all over the place and never had a consistent identity. And ABC had an idea of a brand but didn't quite execute it. This goes to show how these two companies had similar end goals but vastly differed on their journeys getting there simply because of their histories. We can break down Paul Rand's more simplistic design and how previous iterations failed while his didn't. So unknown to some, the ABC typeface on the logo is actually a modified version of Futura and made to be more sleek and modern design, which can be seen in its own smooth and rounded shapes. Futura is a sans serif font with simple and geometric shapes. With the rise of television and moving on from radio, this was one of the perfect moves moves that Paul Rand could have made to invoke this new era of modernity. The font also conveys a sense of professionalism and sophistication, which was vital to ABC to communicate a sense of trustworthiness and reliability. This ABC version of Futura was heavy in its stroke weights, which helps with its readability. Rand wanted to allow people to recognize and have this logo be memorable, and creating this unique and easy to read image is what drew ABC to choose his design. The logo itself is made up of a black solid circular shape that gives balance to itself. To wrap things up, Paul Rand and William Golden were both influential graphic designers who revolutionized the design of corporate business logos. Their design philosophies emphasize simplicity, functionality, timelessness, and clear communication with an emphasis on visual impact and versatility. Paul Rand's bold use of color, minimalist approach to design, and innovative typography helped to break away from the traditional design conventions and set a new standard for corporate logo designs. His designs for IBM, ABC, and UPS, among others, continue to be recognized as some of the most iconic and effective logos of all time. William Golden's design of the CBS logo also had a profound impact on corporate logo design. His minimalist approach and emphasis on timelessness and versatility helped to create a logo that has remained instantly recognizable and effective for over 60 years. Together, Paul Rand and William Golden helped to change the landscape of corporate business logos, paving a way for a new era of modern, minimalist, and memorable designs. Their influence can be seen in countless corporate logos today, and their legacy continues to inspire designers to push the boundaries of creativity and innovation in logo design.